Good morning, all. Thank you for joining. At the moment, still, let's wait for 2-3 minutes before we start the presentation. And yeah, then let's go on with our webinar. Quick information. There is a Q&A panel up above, right where you can see all the controls and so on. And you can feel free to ask a question during the presentation, and we will try to answer that. So let's just wait for a few minutes.
Very good.
Last call to grab some coffee, and then we can start.
Just enjoying the music, Guntis.
Exactly. Yeah. I have my coffee here. I have my everything is set up. And let's just have a really nice webinar.
Yeah, well, you could say the start to Friday morning before the weekend.
That's a productive Friday morning, right?
Yeah, better believe it. I know you've had a busy week.
Oh yeah,
Working with clients out around about in factories. The time goes so quick. Good stuff.
And not only in Latvia, also in Iceland and other countries. I can see that there's a lot of interest into different automatization and digitalization solutions.
Yeah, and there's just so much need for it. We'll get into it here, but there's no doubt that there's people who need our help. So it's good to be proactive and get out there. So great stuff.
Yeah. Okay, I think we have waited 2 minutes, and that's long enough, and we can start. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Remember that we want to make it interactive. There is a Q&A session above on control panel of the meeting. Above bar, just Q&A. At any moment when you have a question, just write it in, and we will try to put it in at some point during our webinar. And let's start with introduction to our speakers today. Hello, my name is Guntis Dlohi, and I'm head of sales in company Perusa. I have been in company for 15 years. I have traveled all continents except for two, Antarctica and Australia, and seen experiences for a lot of factories. And what I like is that we, as Perusa, we can suggest company solutions that our customers sees improvements immediately. And today I'm joined with our partners from Accuratech, Stuart McBride. Stuart, hi.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Guntis, first of all, I'll just say a quick thank you for having us on the webinar with you. It's for sure a pleasure, and it's one of the areas where we've relatively new getting a partnership going, but I think we're doing a great job here. And on this, just to set this event up, I think our marketing teams deserve a little bit of credit because they've been the ones who have assisted us in putting this together. So that's great. My name is Stuart McBride, everyone. For those who don't know me, I've been working here at Accuratech for only 2 years. But for my pleasure, I've been working in the food industry now for only about 12 years. And I say only because that's many people have been in the business for many more years. But in that period, I've had the pleasure of actually traveling extensively, working with customers in the food industry, primarily in fish and meat industries. But as we'll talk a little bit about here, there's the need for solutions in all industries. And today we go on a little bit of thin ice, maybe in the dairy world with focus there. But we have some good statistics to talk about. We have some good case story to talk about, and we'll share all the data. So that's
Yeah.
pretty much me in a nutshell. Thank you, Gunther.
Yeah, exactly. That's I think that's quite interesting. And as Stuart already mentioned, today we have two main points. Is we will introduce you to Perusa and Accuratech and their product Scanplant. And our focus today is for dairy industry. So let's get on with it. Um, in Perusa, we believe even proven technologies can be improved. And improvements have been our passion since 1991. When we started as a completely new company, we imported equipment and adjusted so that it works in Baltic region. And over the years, our main goal was create additional profit for our customers by supplying equipment with which our customers can provide more quality food. Over the years, we have continuously improved our process and expanded our base. In 2007, we built this new factory, which you are seeing now in the video, and started to develop our own unique manufacturing equipment. In 2015, we started our line for packaging and palletizing. And 2020, 2019, 2020, we started to also provide solutions for interlogistics warehouse solutions. Therefore, for some industries, we can provide full circle of process, starting from receiving product till the end product. And there's one thing what we have seen in all the factories. The better the data, the better you can make decisions about what you would need to do. So if we sum up, Perusa has three main business directions. Still, we are doing in fish processing equipment. Our next robotized packaging and palletizing solutions, and of course, warehouse intralogistics solutions for food processing factories, and not only. And as I mentioned, it's very important for the data to be correct and data to be actually live data. And this is where Accuratech has delivered really good solution, I would say outstanding solution called Scanplant. And this is a solution where which helps equipment and manufacturing managers control whole process, starting from control of suppliers, good reception, stock, productivity, packaging, and up till complete products sent out. Because what I've seen, if the factory starts to be bigger and bigger, there will be more product coming in, and you have to know what is inside. What is inside the factory? For example, for dairy, when it was done, how long it needs still to stay for curing, and which product we need to produce next. And over traveling the world, I've seen one major problem. There's still too much paperwork being done on the shop floor, where you should concentrate on producing, where still there is a lot of paper writing down and collecting data. And this is what we strive to achieve. by supplying, for example, processing and freezing plant sends the data to scan plant, which provides data to business decision makers who can create better business decisions. So smart management needs good and automatic equipment to run the factory. The margins are getting slimmer for food processing companies, and it creates quite a challenging time for managers to suggest improvements. Therefore, one thing what we have seen is that the cost of raw material creates 70 to 75% of the total production costs. And with automatization and control of the product flows, we can provide here quite an improvement. And before we start to go inside the dairy industry, really concentrate on that, I wanted to show you one really good example, which I think explains exactly how we can help you. For example, if you have ready-made product and this is pre-weighed at the set and agreed weight, for example, half a kilo, going to retailers, one thing you must be sure that it is not under the 500 grams, but also you want the end package to be without giveaway. Giveaway is overweight that you pack extra to be just sure that it's 500 grams at least. And here we have a solution where each individual product is being weighed and put with a mathematical logic inside the packaging, so that the overweight instead of 560 grams is just precisely 500 or 510 grams. So we can see here big improvements, especially with the big part of the costs going just into raw material. And Stuart, this, as we agreed, yeah, we can see that data is needed for meat, fish, poultry, all food processing industries. But today we agreed to concentrate just on one, which is dairy industry. And Stuart has prepared quite a, I would say, presentation and data for you to see.
Well, let's hope so.
Stuart?
Let's hope so. Gunters. Yeah, do you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, everything's okay.
Yeah, okay. I thought you couldn't hear me. Yeah, let's hope so. And just to back up your presentation there, yeah, we have many areas where we are working with ScanPlan with customers in the fish, meat, on board, quality control, and we have other webinar material that you can find on our YouTube site. You'll see the link at the end. But if we want to focus now on this dairy world, well, let me just back up what Gunther was earlier saying, that the dairy industry, like many others, they're really facing many ongoing challenges, especially with regarding inefficiencies, traceability, and compliance to quality regulations, but especially when it comes to this product giveaway during the weighing and packing area, as Gunther was highlighting. Traditional processes often lead to inconsistency in the cutting and the portioning, and it increases waste and increases costs. So by integrating our system, we call this a MES system. It's a manufacturing execution system. We call it ScanPlant, and it's on the shop floor connected to devices for collecting data regarding the raw material. So when we put this into a dairy industry, for example, dairy producers, they can really get more precise weight control, which reduces their giveaway and increases the total automated weighing of the packing processes. Later on, I'll also show you some real-time process monitoring, where we can look at some data analytics regarding the packing, but we can cover this data all the way from the reception of the milk until the final packaging, and we'll have a look at that also. And all of this together enhances the total traceability and compliance regarding quality regulations. We also have special modules for that. So the information that we're going to share on this webinar is based on our experience in our region, working with a dairy company and by implementing our system, they were able to reduce the significantly. And what do I mean by that? We'll get back to it. They improved their packaging accuracy to absolute maximum levels, and this meant that the overall efficiency of the factory was increased by a very nice percent. About how much percent? Well, stay till the end, and I'll release some figures exactly on what that is. So just to conclude this kind of introduction from my part, digital transformation now in the dairy industry is no longer an option. It is an absolute necessity. And with our solutions, which are driven by automation, real-time monitoring, and using these data analytics, dairy producers, they can cut waste, they can boost their efficiency, and they can stay competitive in their market. And that's what's crucial. Does that make sense? Gunters, just
yeah, definitely. Actually, I wanted to ask you, how does Scanplan can help dairy, but actually you already explained everything in advance.
I'm not so sure if I did. There's a lot of nitty gritty and details, but let's have a little bit more of a look at it. Should we do that?
Yes, exactly.
So that's kind of the challenges. Yeah, go to the next slide, please.
Okay. Yeah.
So the next slide is basically just a kind of overview of the different screens that we produce within a factory. Each one of these screens is connected to a terminal that is connected to a server for collecting data. The first one on the left-hand side on the top is where we are. Forgive me, they're in the Danish language, of course, but I can quickly explain. This is where we're just receiving raw material. So we are integrating to an ERP system, and we are receiving data that is being purchased into the factory, whether it be milk or ingredients or packaging or whatever it may be. The one on the top left is a little bit more interesting, and I'll get to that in my next slide. But that's actually installed on a terminal, which is in the back of one of the large milk refrigerated tanker trucks, where we are tracing the milk, where it came from, and how we receive it into the factory, and of course covering the quality control. I'll talk about that next slide. And the other two images on the bottom are really just to give a look and feel about actually our product, how it looks. We build it up with different process terminals to make it easy for operators to look at the screens, see what's going on, make registrations to the system, and of course we can do this in local languages. Yeah.
One question, for example, Stuart, I can see that there's a lot of screens, but how is it made easier for employees that they know what they must actually fill in and not make mistakes in receiving the raw material?
Yeah, it's a very good question, Gunchas, and the answer, or the short answer, is very, very simple. It's one of the key challenging when we're actually implementing our system. And the best way to overcome this is regarding the training of staff. It's about having the right people in place. It's about change management, really. It's all about training, and more training. Because when you implement such a system, and the time I've been in the industry, if you don't take this seriously about having the right people and the right project team in place before you even make the decision to start, then it can be unsuccessful. So to answer your question very quickly, it's about taking responsibility of the system, taking ownership, and ensuring that people are properly trained to use it.
Okay, thank you.
But yeah, there can be more about that. That's the short answer.
Yeah, we go to the next slide.
Yes, please.
Oh, and here is what you mentioned, the screen.
Yeah, so this is an image of in the back of the large refrigerated tanker truck. So the milk is collected at farms, as you would know, in these large refrigerated tanker trucks. And when it comes, it is, of course, there's quality checks regarding the actual milk, where it came from. It's, of course, it's transported under strict cold chain management. When it gets to the factory, before it's even accepted into the factory, there is many checks there is done. There's checks for bacteria, there is checks for acidity, there is checks for, all sorts of contaminants that could be in the milk before it even gets in place.
So, Stuart, if I get it right, so this is the machine which goes to the farmers to collect the milk?
Yes.
And it has already installed access to Accuratech scan plant.
That's exactly what you see on the screen there on the right-hand side. Yeah.
Would that mean that managers can already see how much material is coming in before it actually comes in?
It's possible to do that, yes, and it's not always so relevant with fluid material such as this milk. But if you imagine it in other industries, it's it's they can actually see exactly how much is on the way.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So there is a lot of tracking, and of course the transit time for these trucks, how much they're coming with, where they are, they're all tracked, and all of the data is logged in the system before the milk is even received into the factory. Yeah, I can see you quickly jumped to the next one. That's okay. So it's just, I thought it's important to put this kind of small flow diagram up so as we have the kind of image in our head and where our focus actually is. So we're going to be talking a lot about this weighing and packing and labeling compliance at the right-hand side towards the end, and a little bit about the actual cheese production itself. There's many other areas here, and of course we could use a lot of time talking about it, but what is the overall focus here is to talk about how much efficiency can be created with our system across the whole system. All data in all areas is recorded into the system. For example, as I talked about at the reception, through the cheese making process, there's pH levels, temperatures, the humidity, all critical stages. We do a lot of ingredients registration also for exactly which ingredients goes into which cheeses. And actually at the dairy, we are combining old manual methods with humans that actually are testing the cheese. So there is a very, very experienced employees who are tasting, who are measuring the texture, the taste, and they're classifying the cheese and they're recording it into the system in order to ensure that the cheese gets the right classification and thereby also sold at the right amount.
Fantastic. Stuart,
yes?
one thing, what I noticed this week, as we already discussed, I was on a trip visiting customers, but I can see that the process of processing food, if we take out just very specifics, then it's quite similar. It's receiving, we need to check the quality, sort it, then we process it and monitor processing. Then we usually portion it. Either it's storing, freezing, holding. Then we package after that and we ship. So what is quite interesting, if we look at the broad picture, is the same principles for all available food processing factories, with some small nuances, of course. But the main steps are quite the same.
It's very, very true what you say. I agree 100%. What is critical when we are talking about implementing software, there is a degree of accuracy and of process knowledge for each area. So there's and when we're implementing systems, it's very typical for us, especially for a factory who's going from little automation to high, that we break it up into steps or phases, and we do each one of these at once. And that also helps the training, the education, the project management, and the way of creating this change management that we talked about. So it's very true what you say, but it's very important that we split it up into areas that we can handle, that our customers can handle, and make sure we have a good flow for the deployment of the system overall. Yeah.
Very nice. Next.
Yeah. Yeah, go for it. Yeah. This is just a very small basic traceability chain that is from the Office client in our system. I'm thinking that just when you look at this small diagram, it should be kind of explanatory on its own. You can see that trucks arrive under a certain batch. You see the batch number up on the top right of the number of the screen. Yeah, that over to the right in the search box.
This one.
Yeah. So there's been a search done here on this batch number. And this is the image that it comes up with. So it shows all of the batches and the deliveries in relationship to that batch number. So this is just a quick image about how the system is helping quality control processes under auditing. So when they have audits about traceability, they can very quickly get an image of what is what, and they get all the details below. So it can help them with the timescales when they're being audited. It's a great tool.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So again, we come to giveaway.
Yeah, we have a little bit focus on this giveaway now because Gunther is what I actually have learned, and again traveling around, meeting customers, salespeople, whoever. When you talk about this giveaway, it's not always something that's really understood, and I know you did a good job in your introduction at the video explaining, but I just wanted to put it on regarding this cheese slicing, so anyone here can actually do the math. A small cheese slice, if it weighs about 200 grams and it's just overweight by just 3, it can result in a giveaway about 1 and 1.5% per slice. And these small amounts, of course, they add up. So it is a huge amount if you're not in control of it. And we believe the solution is get involved with us, get talking to us, and let's talk about putting systems in place that can really help control this.
But okay, we can see here 150,000 euros annual loss. Then the question is, what is return on investment for implementing MES?
Is that a question you're asking?
Yeah. What usually is the return on investment? How fast it returns?
Yeah. Well, of course, that is the big question, Gunther, and I knew you would challenge me on that. So,
because I can see 150,000 euros annual, that should give quite good return on investment.
Yeah, and this is based, and it's an estimation, and it's based on what we say is a mid-sized plant here. But let's put it another way: the return on investment will always be based on the scale of the production, how big or how small it is. But it will include this product giveaway that I'm about to show you some examples of how that can be achieved. So the product giveaway, if you can get that down percent-wise, it can increase significantly. If it can overall improve the production efficiency by a certain amount, I'll get back to that all. This reduces downtime, and it helps with resource utilization, which means you can move people around and put them in other places in factory where they're needed. I just touched on the traceability part and how it helps quality people achieve these audits much faster. That's also part of the return of investment. So, and typically in our world, we would say that by using the system very stringently, I would say with military discipline, you can see a good return of investment within 12 to 24 months.
Hey, that sounds quite good.
And I think I answered your question.
Yeah. So let's go in some examples.
Yeah. So here is a report from our system looking at some pallet identification. And just forgive the text here again, it's in the Danish language, but I'll quickly explain. So if you look at the bottom of the report, you can see these pallet ID 316 and 317 with the amount of boxes on the pallet. So there's 144 boxes on the pallet, and the weight was 302.400.
That's the weight.
That's the weight that it was sold to. And then the next one where it says actual weight is 337.699. So the giveaway is just over 35 kilos. And this is true data. This is nothing that we made up. So if you imagine that you are creating hundreds of pallets, perhaps even on a daily basis, and you're not in control of this,
But then
it's
imagine if
yeah,
this is 75% of the production cost is just this raw material cost. That means from 75%,
yeah,
11% is almost 8%, which is just additional costs, not covered.
exactly, exactly, exactly.
Huge.
So this is what we don't want to see. And then just above, we put these two reports together yesterday. You can see on the four pallets that are listed above, they are much more under control. They're the largest giveaway. There was almost 6 kilo on one of them, but it's much more under control and actually within a tolerance that the factory will accept. So this is just an
Yeah,
example. Yeah, and I'm sure it's an eye opener for some.
good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Do we go to this one already then?
yeah, I think so. Let's do it because just when we were planning this the other day, going to site, I chased for a real update. So this is actually a short report from just the day before yesterday from the factory where they are packing these small cheese slice packs into a box. So there's six
So
of them going into a box. And again, you see the weight that is sold to 810. And there you see the giveaway. It's just over, just barely over. And this is because they have more control of the throughput. They have more control of the cutting process. And the giveaway is at an absolute minimum here.
So actually, this raised me a question. So how does then mass the scan plant specifically help reducing the giveaway? What like did it only showed the okay, now it's a big problem, or it somehow helped to improve machinery or people? How it was implemented these improvements?
Yeah, of course, it's what we have been talking about continually here. It's about implementing the system and ensuring that precise weight control is integrated into the systems. So it's about, of course, shop floor discipline, knowing the scales and the machines that are on the shop floor, and having the system connected to them with as much integration as possible regarding the weighing, so it can totally show control of how much we're cutting at any given time. And if it goes below a certain standard, then we can make decisions. So it's about using our system as a decision making tool in order to constantly keep an eye on the data, constantly with the data to see this reduction in the giveaway.
So that means with mesh system like Scanplant, we also install preset number of weighing control units. That's correct?
Yeah, that's correct. And when you say a preset, this comes from our clients about how much weight they want to sell
Check.
for. That
Yeah.
that's nothing that we determine. That's
Yeah.
that's up to our clients.
Good. Can I show how the production looks a bit?
Please.
Sure. Sure. Then we have
Oh yeah,
prepared. So this is the
yeah,
weighing unit, which automatically receives the data, right?
yeah, yeah. And actually, going to say late last night, I got another video of one of the more high-speed lines, but it was too big to send to you here this morning already. But I thought this was also an okay video because for anyone not familiar, it's just showing that the all of these cheese products, they're going over a scale and they're being weighed and they are being controlled by the system, by orders in the system that are labeling them, weighing them, placing them on an order with exactly the right amount of data.
Fantastic.
I know there's some noise in the back of that video that you can't hear, but my colleague stood there standing and explaining what's going on. But that's basically how it goes. In the top right here of this slide, you'll see more of the kind of the slices that we're talking about. I have more of these videos, and if anyone wants to reach out to us afterwards, do so, and we can take more detailed sessions. So, we quickly jump to the next one again. This is okay. Here we are talking about, again, more or less what I call the real case study behind it, because we have the process, and when we go to a customer or a customer comes to us, this is typically the requirements that we talk about, that they, of course, they want system equipment integration. We have to integrate to their scales, to the tanker trucks. We integrate to scanners, and last but not least, which is again is a whole other subject on its own, is about integration to the ERP system, to the company's economy system. We do that, and we do it very well. So that's a huge part of this also. We want to have total data connectivity. We want to have planning tools. Of course, it has to be user-friendly for the employees who are going to use it. And it's often the case now, one of the major requirements is that management people, they want to see the system from afar, from remote. And then when we go to a factory, we know from experience that we have many challenges in all this, because if you start to talk about controlling absolutely all of the raw material that comes into factories, we have huge needs today to also track packaging and ingredients as well as just the raw material. And we know that we have to adapt our solutions for the customer's ever-changing market. So some days they're producing certain products, and other days they're totally change the products and the way they have to do things. So the system has to be very flexible. And overall downtime, we know that when a factory is not running, it's not good. So our system also has to be adaptable and mature enough to handle this. Yeah. I think we've covered a lot about the actual solution that we do. Please go ahead, Gunther. You had something to ask.
I was just, you mentioned this data accessibility, and I wanted to maybe to go to the next slide where actually we are looking at live data, if that's okay.
Yeah, you're a little bit hungry. And I like that. But just give me 30 seconds more on this, because I just want to say that I promised at the start about the overall efficiency of the factory. Here I put some numbers into results. So I've shown about the giveaway. We've shown the report. If you can reduce this giveaway, for example, from 1.8% to 0.4, the net savings is pretty significant. And it can lead to, I've just put some basic numbers on here. Again, it's an estimation. Annual cost savings due to reduced waste. In these factories, there's a lot of offcuts. There's a lot of cheese that doesn't get used. If it gets collected up, it gets weighed and used for other products. It all adds up. 99.8 in the packaging compliance. That's also huge. Optimization of all of the slicing process. With this much faster throughput, it increases the efficiency in the factory overall. So overall, I would say it's probably between 7 and 10% per year of efficiency increases. So I think this is very significantly, and something that producers should be really focused on today. Yeah.
Quite, yeah. Just I wanted to remind everybody that there is a Q&A option. If something we jumped over, something what we didn't cover, please write it down. But this is, I think, we are going to the part which I enjoy the most as a manager. Live reports, and I will try to do a bit.
Yeah, it is running. So this is a live test setup system we have with 3 packing lines going across your screen from left to right. So on the extreme left, you see this WPL. This is for weighing, packing, and labeling at a flow packer. You can see the order ID, the order line number, the type of order that it's actually all being packed for sales order right now. It is on each line. We have the material ID. You can see how much is being produced over a certain amount of time over the last 5 minutes. On the top right, Gunther's, you don't have to click on anything, but you can actually set this to see over if it's the last day or the last hour or wherever it is. And just imagine that all of this data is being collected from devices on the shop floor, as I talked about, and we are showing this in a web browser. And why is that significant? Well, it's significant for the fact that we can put these dashboards, we can design them after our customers' wishes, and we can put them on shop floor touch terminals. We can put them on QA pads. We can put them on large screens in the production area, the company's reception areas, we've seen them, or even in the canteen, in order to keep this continual improvement regarding employees buy into the system, understanding what it is, and they can measure more or less all of their achievements. And last but not least, I'll say it is in a web browser, so you can actually get this information on your smartphone, which is also demanded from many top managers or factory owners.
Yeah, tablet, smartphone, and this is what I really enjoy, availability of data and visualization of data. You know, one thing, there's a perfect example from fish processing factory. They were packing products into packaging, and
Yes.
when they started to show actually the data of how much product is being packed at each individual time, they managed to improve the packaging speed by 6 to 8%.
Yeah.
And this was just because people saw, okay, we are running at this speed, and they set a number what they need to achieve, and all time they could see how much they have done.
Yeah, it's so true, Gunther. And as I started by saying, this form of looking at data now in food processing is a necessity. It's not, longer something that's in the future. It's now, because if you are supplying to supermarkets where you have large retail contracts, if you don't deliver on time, you potentially can get a fine. And if you can already start to look at data much earlier in the process, you have much better control of if you're going to make these deliveries on time. That's another good example. So it is crucial to be looking at these data analytics. And I think it's very exciting. We're very proud of this, what we've started at Accurotech, and we only intend to build more on it and push it more to the market. So it's good stuff. Yeah.
And we can see that's actually live. It's 1 hour difference, so it's just the data from live.
Yeah. If you check the refresh, you just refreshes every minute, so it quickly changes.
So we can see that they are slightly improving their production.
Yeah.
So good. I think that's quite an amazing. And I wanted to ask, maybe there's some question.
I'm thinking that our time is more or less just
that's why two minutes.
I think we've kept our schedule pretty good, and I could see that Hugo was very. He already asked the question, but I think that's one we took earlier. We answered it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, somehow it doesn't automatically. Rudolf asks, talking about giveaway, have you considered developing a tool for real-time energy consumption monitoring, such as electricity, compressed airs? Stuart, is there such a solution?
That's a very good question, but those types of measurements and devices are something that are outside the MES level. They are more on the SCADA level. supervisory and data acquisition level. It's another level in the data stack. We can have a talk about it. You can contact me and I can push you to somewhere where you can find a solution for that. But we don't typically integrate into those types of devices. Think about our system where we are typically connected to devices that measure the raw material. And our system is used by management people, factory owners, finance managers, production managers. In the SCADA level, it's mostly used by engineers. It's mostly for the engineering. So it's in a different level of the automation stack, but nevertheless, very, very important.
Good. I think, yeah, the Hugo question and the question how it helps control the weights of the freezed products, I think we mentioned already answer, but I will just call it out one time, that we also have weights physically installed in the production. And that is something what helps us to receive the data and if needed, make adjustments to the automation and machinery. So please, today we are getting closer to end of our webinar. If you could follow us on LinkedIn and YouTube channel, Akuratech and Perusa Automation, that would be perfect. And please sign up for newsletters. And by scanning the code below, it will lead you directly to Calendly invitation, where you can book at your convenient time one-to-one meeting with us. And we can go more into details how Perusa and ScanPlant help you improve your production and reduce costs. I think, thank you, Stuart, for today's fantastic webinar. I learned a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was just a pleasure. And to your closing statements, I can only say, amen. Very good. Let's do it again sometime. We'll look forward to that.
And we just a disclaimer, we will have more webinars this year. Where we will concentrate on different topics, for example, packaging and labeling or warehouse solution, warehouse tracking. Therefore, please sign up for a newsletter, follow our LinkedIn, and we will post the information about upcoming webinars as soon as we will announce them. So thank you for today.
Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great day. Have a great weekend when you get so far. Thank you very much. Take care.
Have a great weekend. Bye.